Booty bee boo. La di di da ba ba be doo boopy. Shaboopy, shaboopy. Ba da ba ba da ba boopy. Yay! Let's go. I need my Twitch to pop up. There's my Twitch. Ba da ba da ba dee ba 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 da boo. Ba 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 da ba da ba da ba dee ba 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 da boo. Ba 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 da ba da ba da ba dee da ba ba da boo. Multi-stream. Let's rock and roll. All right. There to Facebook. Going live. Make sure I share. Everybody watching, please share, like, comment, engage. Every little bit helps. I'll be building Scarlet, Witch, and Quicksilver tonight. Doo-doom, doo-doom. Let's talk tabletop game. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Da dee dee da do do dee do dee. La da ba. Getting everything together. Alright, I am currently live on Facebook. I'm live on Twitch. I am live on YouTube. So if you're watching, give me a hey, howdy, hey. I can talk to you from wherever you're at. Sabrina, thank you very much for liking the stream. Every like, every follow, every share helps to get me affiliated so that I can make some money while doing this. Also, if any of you out there know a game store that would like to sponsor me, or an individual that would like to sponsor me, please send them my way. I love my sponsors very much, and I'm very thankful for them. Space Cadets Gaming, who always gives me great gaming supplies, gives me a safe and fun place to play games. And the Aegis Creative Company, who has helped me since the beginning, building my 3D models, terrain, printing out things for me, and now opening their own game store and running games as well. Very, very, very excited to be playing out there with them and my good friend Julio. But tonight is about building community, building models, building a sense of ownership. I have been working on these Marvel Crisis Protocol models for about 3 months now, 4 months. Very excited to continue on the path for which I have. Ba-da-ba-da-bee. Glooby-doo. Ba-da-dee-da-da. Doo-dee-doo-dee-doo. Dum bum bum bum. All right, 30 seconds, and then we will rock and roll. And I'm very excited because these next two models will be models 8 and 9 for my 10-man squad, and then I'll have my final model to choose and build, depending on when and where I can get them from. Maybe I can talk my good friend Joe into splitting a box with me. But Now it's time for the show. Main screen. Hey! Look, there's light. I'm sure you see what looks like laundry in the background. Disregard that laundry. That is just stuff. Oh, can I? Alright, 1 second. I'm going to turn off the light. My wife has stopped reading. Ta-da! There we go. Ooh, those. Oh, I'm so handsome. All right, so very excited about tonight because we will be building Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver from Marvel Crisis Protocol, made by Atomic Mass Games. Fantastic game. I've been having a lot of fun playing it over the past year. I started with my Spider Foes, and I have a lot of fun with my Spider Foes. They're a very thick, meaty team that just likes to beat up and punish opponents. And I went and played at my friend Sean's house, and we were having fun. And I looked across the table, and my buddy Jerome was playing the Brotherhood of Mutants, and I was like, oh, I want to play mutants. I want to play the Brotherhood. I want to be back. I want more bad guys. I just want more bad guys. And so I was like, all right, well, I have to wait. I have to wait until somebody can help me out. And thanks to the Adventure Begins, they sponsored me a box and some great discounts and store credit. So I was able to pick up the Brotherhood of Mutants affiliation pack, which had in it, whoop, right here, Magneto, Sabretooth, Mystique, and Toad. And then I went ahead and picked up Blob and Pyro. Oh, forgot his name for a second. Picked up Blob and Pyro. And then last week on the stream, I assembled the Juggernaut, the biggest, meatiest member of my crew. Let me just look how big he is next to Mystique. And so tonight we will start to round out the rest of my Brotherhood of Mutants with Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver. What's great about Marvel Crisis Protocol is that they can be found in pretty much any tabletop gaming store right now because the game is very popular. Lots of people are playing it. It's got a great competitive scene, so if you're into war games and you want to play against a bunch of people and go to tournaments and things like that, it's readily available. They have tons of tournaments going on, but then they also have a great organized play community where it's much more laid back. There's not nearly as competitive. The scenarios are meant to be fun and for you to have fun with a bunch of friends. And that's genuinely what I like to do. I really enjoy just playing with a bunch of friends, having fun, not being too serious, of course following the rules, but this game gives you a chance to do both, to be very competitive and play at a higher level, or just sit back with a couple of friends in somebody's living room and play it on the tabletop like a board game. It's a very, very good, fun game with a lot of different options to play. They've got tons and tons of characters out and readily available. So I'm going to pop open the Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver box. Each box comes with their own character cards for the models that are inside. These cards give you all the information that you need to know on how the characters play. Looks like this one came with some tokens and a lot of some extra cards. Research station attack, so it came with a extraction scenario. Extraction objective. and some cards for them to use. No more mutants. We'll go over those later. Not quite sure what these tokens will be used for, but I'm sure that they'll have something specific, probably for that objective in there. Oh, this is one of the older boxes, so it actually has the instructions on how to build them right there inside. Quick, easy assembly guides. These do not look like they have alternate sculpts or alternate pieces, so they're built one way. I could, if I wanted to, modify them. Hey Craig, thanks for watching. Craig always pops up in my feed that he's watching my stream, and I'm grateful for that. Craig, thank you very much. Building Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver today. Yep. There go the cards. I have not looked at their cards. I have not looked at any of these models' cards for the Brotherhood of Mutants. I've simply been going on which models I like the most, which models I want to see on the board, which models look like the most fun to build and paint. So these are the models that I've picked up and been granted. Scarlet Witch. So their stats are fairly simple. Health, she's got 6 points of health on her. Oh, this is actually her damage side. So 6 points of health on her regular side. She's got a medium movement. Get in there. Medium movement. She's got a height of 2, so she's not very tall. She's a 5 threat, which means that she costs 5 points to put on your team. For her attacks, she's got a 3 in physical, a 4 in energy, and a 4 in mystic. Which is strange because I think that Juggernaut had a 5 in mystic. Kind of cool. She flips and her stats will stay the same. 3, 4, 4, 3, 4, yeah. Her stats will stay the same, but she may gain some different abilities and attacks. Hex Bolt, Cruel Twist. Oop. So that is Scarlet Witch. And then we have Quicksilver. So Quicksilver is really neat. Obviously, got 5 health, a lightweight. He's got a long movement, which makes a big difference in playing styles. All of my fighter foes have a medium or short movement, so I don't get extra long moves. Playing against Web Warriors or other faster teams, it's a pain in the bottom to watch them get across the field before I can. But once I get there, I hit like a truck. Quicksilver's got that long movement. A 2 size 2, so he's not very big. He's only a 3 threat. So him and Wanda together are 8. I'm sure they have tag team abilities. And then he's got an even spread on his attacks with 3, 3, 3, 3 physical, 3 energy, 3 mystic. And I'm actually pretty excited to use Quicksilver. I've heard a lot of good things about Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch. So that's 8 points to a team. And the models and everything are fairly easy to build. Hey Jesse, what's going on, brother? Thanks for watching the stream. I greatly appreciate it. We're building some Marvel Crisis Protocol. So, what I love about Marvel Crisis Protocol is that they're sprue by sprue. So, this is the Scarlet Witch sprue. And this is the Quicksilver sprue. I did not buy this set, so I'm not quite sure how much these two models are. But it couldn't have been more than $30–40 for the two, which is good. It's nice, you know, in comparison to Games Workshop, War Machine, other games, other miniature games. They're right on par with their price point. Cannot complain. I think I'm going to start out with Quicksilver. Let me just pop open. So. Quicksilver is very simple, it looks like. Build the chest. Build the body around the chest. Got like a little smoky base. Attach a smoky base to him, and then he's done. So let's start with Quicksilver and knock this out. Start time is 9:58, so I know it's a little late, but took a while for us to get the girls down for bed, and then my wife and I wanted to play some Phasmophobia with our family. So we played Phasmophobia tonight. And it was fun. I always have fun playing Phasmophobia with my family. Very easily gonna pop these out. Now I have these clippers. If you're assembling models, you don't need clippers. You absolutely can use an X-Acto knife. That's how I had been doing it for a long time. Just find it a lot easier to do this now. And get these instructions to stay just like that. I'm just gonna throw some super glue in here around the edges, not too much. They do not sponsor me, but my absolute favorite glue to use is the Loctite Loctite Ultra Gel Control. It's a very thick super glue. It won't leak out. It won't go anywhere. It stays in place. You don't have to worry about it going too far out of line. And it actually gives you time for smaller bits to, since it's so thick, for you to put it in and then position it and hold it in place for a little bit, and whoop, it'll seize right up. Alright, so the body is secured. Now we're going to knock out all of the limbs according to our assembly guide. And I need to be careful with this foot. This foot is actually going to be put into the base, so it's got a little bit of a tab on the bottom of it, so we can sit. If you guys can see that. I know it's hard to see with my big meaty hand in the way. There we go. Boop. Yeah, there's like a little tab on the toe. That little tab is going to be set into the a lot of other players call it a tactical rock. It's a rock that goes on the base that looks good and gives the model a little bit more of a dynamic look. I don't have any issues with it. A lot of people say that there's too many rocks on too many of the bases, and I come from War Machine and 40K and a bunch of other war games that don't have really nice looking bases for their models, right? Like, look at this toad standing on a broken down piece of wall. This Mystique is standing on the Xavier School for Gifted Children, like, emblem. Like, these models are beautiful. And the game is fun. And the models are simple to assemble. And so this other leg and foot don't go anywhere near. Again, a little dab will do you. Just a little bit of super glue on the interior. There we go. And again, one of the things that I love about the Atomic Mass games models is that they fit together almost seamlessly. Like it looks like it's all going to be one big piece. I may have put too much super glue. I'll just get that out of there. The models are so well made and fit together very well. There's very little sprue bits, or what is that called? I haven't had an issue with gaps. Like, this entire model is going to look like one solid piece when it's done, because of how they put the mold lines and everything on it, so where it looks like it's part of his outfit, right? And I like that very much. Now, anytime you clip parts, make sure you hold on to them, because if you clip them too fast or clip them too hard, they could potentially go flying across the room. I'm going to take my X-Acto knife and clean up some of these sprue flashes. They're not that bad. I've seen a lot worse. The sheer fact that there's not too many mold lines makes these models fantastic to assemble and just have fun with them. You can pop them right off of their little sprue and then just begin to assemble, put together. You don't have to worry about cleaning too many mold lines. Oop, he's got one on his hand. Just lightly shave that off. Anytime you're working with a sharp implement like an X-Acto knife, make sure that you're cutting or scraping away from yourself. You may notice me do it towards me or at a very odd angle where it looks like I'm going to cut my finger. Please do not worry. I have a very rough day job, so I have thick calluses on my hands. It's very hard for me to cut myself. Not that I don't want to be careful, but just that do as I say, not as I do. Nope. All right. And remember what I told you. I'm going to assemble this guy, and he's going to have pretty much no mold lines. Like no seams, no large gaps. And that's what I absolutely love about Atomic Mass Games models. They're so well put together. Sorry, so well made that it'll just look like a seam on his outfit, costume, whatever these superheroes call it. Now, this is a fairly decent sized, small sized model, right? After building Juggernaut last week, this is a bit different, much smaller. And the Marvel Crisis Protocol miniatures are just a little bit larger than normal, like things that you'd find from Games Workshop or other miniature makers. The model size is just a bit larger. Greg Webster, if you're out there, help me out. I believe there are 35 millimeter base and miniature size as compared to the 28 or 30 millimeter of Games Workshop or War Machine and Hordes. Nope. Look at that. He's assembled. That literally took me 10 minutes. Now I'm going to do his base and he'll be done. So one of my favorite moments from the X-Men movies is when the young Quicksilver is running through all kinds of stuff, and it is things are blowing up around him, and he's making it look slow-mo while he's moving in normal speed or at even a sped up speed. And they play really cool music in the background, like they play the Eurythmics in one of them. And it's just a really cool effect, and you get this feel for what it's like to be a speedster. Boom. All right. These. Now, you're gonna tell me. Put a little bit of glue on the top right here. There we go. A little bit of glue on the top to hold this base together. And then there's a little notch right there where this little bit will go. I've got to figure out which side of the bit it goes on. Right, because he's got a very small contact point. Just like that. Could I pin this guy? Yes, I absolutely could. I absolutely could. Am I going to? Nah. I don't think it's going to give me a lot of trouble. As everything falls apart. So. We will put him on his base. See if I can get that to focus. Julio told me to take off the autofocus. But it is barely hanging on there. Very small contact point. Same thing with the bottom, there's a little hole. That little hole I do not care about, so I'm just gonna plug it up with some super glue. And where is it? It'll go. here. So, 2 very small contact points. To give us this very dynamic looking Quicksilver. I am not going to glue him to his base yet because I want all of this to settle. Because again, they've done a phenomenal job with this model. Look at that. His foot is just barely touching that rock. That rock is just barely touching the blast that he's jumping off of. I'm going to set this down because Quicksilver, aside from putting him on his base, finished. He's he's going to go into a small base. And just last week I said, oh, Atomic Mass Games does a great job of keeping them over their base. I think he's going to be jutting off this base a lot. No, not that much. Actually, if I put the explosion towards the back, you see, he won't be jutting off that much of his base. In fact, it's kind of rounded so that it can hit the back edge of the base quite a bit. And then have him sort of hanging just over the edge. That'll look good in a little bit. I'm going to save this nice big flat base for him. Right. And now we will do the Mistress of Pain, the Scarlet Witch. She has some really cool effects floating around her. We're going to build her just like the schematics say to do. Whoop, 1. Boop. There we go. The first thing we build is her torso. Hey, Theo Choco, what's going on? Just building some Marvel Crisis Protocol. Very glad to see Theo Choco in my chat. All the way from South America via Twitch. Again, if you're watching me, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Twitch, I'm on YouTube. And if you miss any of my streams, you can go to my YouTube and look at all my old streams. Just look up Big Bad Nerd Dad. If you Google Big Bad Nerd Dad, I'm the first search response or search result response. Search result. Okay. I'm doing good, Theo Choco. I'm fat and happy. I can't complain. Doing one of my favorite things in the whole wide world, assembling models. Step 2. We're gonna get her head. Her head and the cape. Right, so I hope you're doing okay, Theo Choco. Everything all right down there in South America? Or as good as they can be? Nice. Lorcana's going real good. I didn't get a chance to go out and play this weekend because I had a lot of stuff I had to take care of. I actually ran a very long session of Tiny Dungeon. It's a simplified role-playing game for some middle schoolers that I run games for. But Lorcana is coming along very well. My wife has her deck ready and sleeved. I have my deck ready and sleeved. We just need to actually play some games. Boop. There we go. Put some glue, put it together. Up. Oh yeah, Lorcana is that new Disney game for the other people watching. Lorcana is that new Disney game, trading card game that came out. It's unfortunately the first couple of sets to come out. The first set to come out is very hard to get a hold of. Sold out. It's not available everywhere in the world just yet, and there's even in the places where it is available, it's scarce to get. But if the Theo Choco is telling me that they're $50 and up for a starter deck, when MSRP on it is $16.99, so that's quite a bit of a markup. I am sorry to hear that, Theo Choco. If I had some extra starter decks, I would send them to you. But even with what we have, it's scarce. All my friends at work want to play. Even if my wife and I wanted to become competitive in it, we can't get our hands on any more product. Okay. So good, Theo Choco. Keep that hope alive. Theo Choco says on Twitch that he's gonna get a deck. He wants to play. They're gonna get product. He has confidence. I'm glad that he is confident that they'll get product and he will get a deck. Si se puede. A little bit of glue in this spot. Right here. A little bit of glue right there. Just a little bit. Get this other leg in. All right. One right hand. Doing that little horse. Hey, Theo Choco, yeah. Theo Choco, post a link to your store. Post a link to your store, please, in the chat. I would love to visit your store online. Yeah, if you've got a small store, man, congratulations. That's the dream for me. Getting my hands on a game store. Running one, having fun with my friends. Providing a safe and fun atmosphere for other people to play in. Yeah, man. That's the dream. Alright, so Scarlet Witch is our main body part. Our main body is done. We need to assemble her and her base. Isaac, thank you very much for giving me a like. Oh, okay. Well, cool, Tio Choco. Still, you're providing a service and doing that for your board game club. That's awesome. I got all these squiggly bits I gotta clip out. Ooh, Theo Choco, we love Unmatched. Who's your favorite character in Unmatched? Unmatched came out with a bunch of Marvel characters too, just recently. We played a few games, my wife and my friends. Um, I like playing Dracula or who else is there? Okay, that's where that is gonna go. Who else have I played in Unmatched? I like Dracula. I like the T-Rex from Jurassic Park. I really want to play with some of the Marvel ones that they came out with. But my play group hasn't played that. I don't have Bruce or Deadpool. Sadly, I began to collect Unmatched when those two. Oh, yeah. Okay. So here's the hard part. She has a very small contact point on her foot, just like her brother. I don't think you can see that. There we go. Very small contact point on her foot. We're going to put a little bit of glue. All versus Choco. All right, dear Choco. Here we go. Bloop. All right. He fits perfectly in this little spot. Clear all that excess super glue. Muldoon is your second favorite character for playing Unmatched. Bah. Those are good. Okay. Gonna put some super glue on the bottom of her. Very thin little line. Alright, so there's Scarlet Witch. Oh man. Beautiful model. Yeah, just like that. She's really neat. Got one hand coming through this sigil here. And then one hand going through this sigil right here. She's going to be a lot of fun to paint. Different pinks and whites, like I did with my paint these flames and effects. Kind of like how I did my lizard. My lizard's water effect. Whoop. Almost lost the lizard. But I'll paint it different shades of pink with like white edging, white highlights. Yeah, Theo Choco, paint your unmatched minis. Very easy, very simple. Yeah, paint is expensive. Especially like you said, trying to get anything down there. I think Quicksilver is ready to base. Alright. I'm going to set him as far back on his base as possible. Alright. You can see that I placed him as far back to the edge of his base as I possibly could. And he only overhangs a little bit. It could be way worse. But it has legitimately taken me Steel Choco. You know what? I have not painted unmatched minis. But I do need to do some more painting videos. Now that I've got all these guys, almost my full team put together, I want to try and paint them all at once. But maybe in the next few weeks, I'll paint some of my unmatched minis. I kind of like the way they look because they have like a shadowed effect to some of the minis. But there are some that I would like to paint, like the Alice from Alice in Wonderland, or trying to think, Sasquatch. The Sasquatch miniature looks really cool. but it was 9:58 when I started to build these, and it is now 10:33. So it took me 35 minutes to build these guys. 35 minutes to build these guys. I've got the twins. I've got Magneto. Oh yeah, so there's two Ghost Riders out right now for Marvel Crisis Protocol. There is the standard Johnny Blaze on a motorcycle, a regular motorcycle Ghost Rider, and then they have that cosmic Ghost Rider who's riding this space motorcycle, and it's a beautiful model. Oh, you can go. I'm in mini mode, so they won't pay attention to you. Disregard the beautiful woman walking behind me. My wife. But yeah, I'm almost done with my Brotherhood of Mutants. I have a lot more small base models in this group than I do in my Spider Foes. And my buddy Joe is currently playing Midnight Suns and Defenders, and the regular Ghost Rider fits into those. I think he's also going to play Guardians of the Galaxy, which can have the Cosmic Ghost Rider in it. And that's, again, a beautiful model, really cool to look at. Looks like a lot of fun to paint, and very, very interesting. But I am one model away from finishing out my Brotherhood of Mutants. And so I've got to figure out what that last model is going to be. What could I possibly do to fill out this group? And a friend of mine was telling me to pick Emma Frost, because Emma Frost is going to open up avenues with the Hellfire Club, and more models are potentially coming out. I thought I was done with my Spider Foes, and then they announced like Sandman, Electro, the Vulture. I think Shocker's coming out. And so that's 4 more guys that I can put into my Spider Foes list. And then there's tons more Brotherhood of Mutant pieces that I could pick up. I would really like to get Gambit and Rogue. They're a box set. I would really like to pick up Colossus, even though he's not normally considered someone who rolls with these guys. He does fit within their Brotherhood of Mutant affiliation. Who else was I looking at? I mean, if I picked up, Gambit. Gambit would be, the Rogue and Gambit models are fantastic. They look really cool. And if I pick them up, then I could potentially start doing something with X-Men as well. So I have Brotherhood of Mutants and then the X-Men as my alternate group with these guys. And I believe Nightcrawler, Professor X, Bishop, and somebody, and Cable. No, Cable's already out. Bishop and somebody else are also coming out for Marvel Crisis Protocol. In fact, Atomic Mass Games is having their mini extravaganza coming up in the next week or so, 2 weeks or so. And they're going to have all these announcements for all the cool miniatures that they have planned coming out over the next year, and organized playthings for Marvel Crisis Protocol, or Star Wars Legion, Star Wars Shatterpoint, all the cool games that they're making. Well, they'll have more announcements for, so I'm very excited to see how that's going to turn out. But as for me, I can only pick up so many models and can only paint so many models, and unless one of my sponsors sends me something through my Amazon wish list, I gotta wait. I gotta wait to pick up things. My gamer budget is very small, but I have a little bit of a gamer budget, so I can pick up things every once in a while that I'd like. But my next pick is probably gonna end up being Emma Frost from the Emma Frost and Psylocke double pack, and then I'll split that box with my friend Joe because he's playing a Weapon X list. So very excited for that. And I think that is actually going to be it for today. I'd like to thank everybody very much for checking me out, watching. What we got? I don't understand how to. Okay, so Theo Choco just said, I don't understand how to play Crisis Protocol or Shatterpoint. Well, Theo Choco, I've been talking about it for months and months and months now, and me and my friend Joe are actually going to start playing games live on the stream for Marvel Crisis Protocol. My good buddy Danny Dean is having me build. I actually have it sitting next to me at my desk, his Shatterpoint models, because they're two completely different games, right? They're not the same game. They're not the same mechanics. They play completely differently, but they're both very easy and very simple to grasp onto. You just have to pick up the models, and I always recommend getting the core set for either one of these, simply because they come with so many models that you could potentially use for your groups, like your different squadrons, your different affiliations, and they come with very, very well done terrain, very well done terrain that's easy to play on and look at and assemble. So Theo Choco, in the next few weeks or months, I'll be doing a how to play. It is not like Warhammer. Warhammer uses D6s, and there's a lot of different rules that you have to have. They're constantly changing the rules. Warhammer usually depends on you having lots and lots and lots of models. You'll only ever have 4 to 6 models on the table at a time for Marvel Crisis Protocol, and then for Shatterpoint, I believe you'll only ever have 8 models out at a time for Shatterpoint. These are much smaller games. They're much more skirmish based. If you're thinking Warhammer, Warhammer is a larger scale. This is more like Kill Team for Games Workshop's Warhammer, or Warcry for Age of Sigmar. Like it's much smaller, a smaller game. You play on a 3 foot by 3 foot board, which is fantastic. The smaller the table, the better. The models have fixed movements. They're not like it's not like Warhammer where they have they do it in inches. These have already predetermined measurements for how far they can go. They have little widgets, little sticks that show you, hey, all right, this one has a short range, and I have no idea how far the movements actually are. They're short, medium, and then long. So very easy, very simple. It's like playing a board game. It's just like playing a board game, and all the info that you need for the characters are on cards. Back this up. So like I just built Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch. This is all you need to play those characters. Their cards, maybe some tokens to show the effects that they'll put out, or the effects that they'll come under, and then their cards show exactly what they do from start to finish, all the way from when they come into the game fully healed to getting knocked out. Right? There's lots of different things that they do. And their boxes, boop, come with everything, right? So I highly recommend, if you want to get into it, to actually pick up the starter. Yeah, the starters are very good for the money. In America, the starter box for Marvel Crisis Protocol is $100, maybe $120, but it comes with 10 models, right? Comes with 10 models, comes with terrain, Comes with all the dice, all the measurement tools that you need for moving the characters, measurements for attack. So there's a difference between movement and attack distance. So they have differences. They have different models for that. And it's just a really fun, simple game that's a lot easier to get into than Warhammer, War Machine, Infinity. I have some Infinity models that I have to build, and paint up because some of my friends want me to do that. Yes. So for Marvel Crisis Protocol, there is only one core set out right now. That core set comes with Iron Man, Captain America, Spider-Man, Captain Marvel, and somebody else, but I can't remember. Simply because I wasn't going to use them, right? But then there's also the bad guys. So there's Doc Ock, there's Red Skull, there's Crossbones, there's Ultron. And again, there's another character that I just can't remember. But they come with a ton of models for you to use. They come with a multitude of things for you to try out the different. And you don't have to play good guys versus bad guys. You can assemble a group that would be, oh, you know what? It'd be really cool if these guys work together. I went theme team because I wanted to play the Spider Foes. I wanted to play the Brotherhood of Mutants. I wanted to play something that was big bad guys, right? So when you see them coming across the board, it's just like the comics. They work as a team, and they do fairly well together. But as for right now, there's only one core set. They're coming out with the second core set soonish, I think. I don't know, by the end of the year maybe. But they're completely different. They're completely independent. They have some of the same characters inside of it, but the characters are different. Different models, different abilities, different cards. So you could pick up one core set now, and then if you like those models or if you want varying things for them, you can pick up the other models. Like I'm gonna have to pick up the bad guys from the new core set because they have a new Dr. Octopus that I think looks a little bit cooler and has different abilities than my current Dr. Octopus. And while I like my current Dr. Octopus, he doesn't get played much. He's not the kind of playstyle that I want. So it gives you more choices. The new core set is going to give you more choices and isn't going to limit you from all the things that are out there. Theo Choco, thank you very much for blowing up my chat. I had a lot of fun talking to you. It's getting a little bit past my bedtime here in the United States, Houston, Texas. So I'm going to say good night. I hope everybody has a blessed evening. Thank you very much for watching, for liking, for sharing, for telling your friends about this stream. I'll be back next Monday, hopefully assembling some more models, hopefully painting some models. So thank you very much. I love you very much. Walls ahead.